Now we get to the really exciting stuff. I have a Microsoft Word document open, and I'm going to show you how to use EndNote as you're actually writing your paper. So I have my paper started here, and I'm going to quote something. I'm actually going to quote gobbledygook. I write my quote, and when I'm done with my quote, I know that I need to cite this material. So to do so, I could figure out how whatever citation style I'm going to use puts an in-text citation in, or I can go to the EndNote4 tab and say I want to insert a citation, and I just want to insert a citation, and I know that this citation is on weight loss, and that weight loss is in the title or the author or the year, and I'll get a list of my citations from EndNote with weight loss in the author, year, or title, and I'm going to say it's from this one. And so I just go ahead and click on the Insert button. And if I wait a minute, EndNote will insert the citation and create my bibliography. So here's my in-text citation. Here's my bibliography, and that does not look like any bibliography I want to turn in. So there's a problem here. The problem is really just the style that I have chosen. EndNote, for some reason that I will never understand, decides that everybody actually wants an annotated bibliography in their paper, so they have chosen the default style of annotated. Really, nobody wants an annotated bibliography, so I'm going to change this. If I click on the down menu, I get my favorite styles. I will show you in the next video how to change what styles show up here. For right now, I'm going to use APA 6th, and that looks a lot better. Even if it's not the one I want in the end, I'm going to leave it on APA 6th for right now. You'll notice that the citation in my text as well as my bibliography both changed. Now, sometimes I want to say that an author, whoever that author is, said, and then do my quotation. EndNote can do that for me as well. So I'm going to go back to Insert Citation and Insert Citation, and I'm going to choose a different one. We'll choose this one this time. And instead of just clicking Insert, I'm actually going to say, click on the little down arrow, and I'm going to say Insert and Display as Author with the year and citation. And it's going to do that. Here's my new citation. Here's my new entry in the bibliography down here. And I can now say, says, even more gobbledygook. There we go. At times, you're also going to need to cite several sources because you get an idea that is in several sources. You can do that with EndNote as well. So I'm going to go back to Insert Citation and Insert Citation, and I'm going to choose several of them. So I'm going to choose that one. I'm going to choose one that I have already used. And I'm just holding down Control while I click on these, and I'll add that one. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to display them as author and year again. And here we go. So we have 1 citation, 2 citations, 3 citations, and then I can say that they all say that whatever. There we go. It's really fun typing a paper in gobbledygook. Too bad I wouldn't get a very good grade for this. But my bibliography now includes all 4 of the citations that I have used up in my paper. And the bibliography will grow and will be formatted hopefully correctly as you go along. I am going to talk a little bit later about problems with your citations and bibliography. As we've already seen, there are times when databases actually include the wrong information or have messed up information in some way. EndNote doesn't know when the information is messed up, and so you might end up with some messed up stuff in your bibliography or citation. So even though you're using a great program to format your citations and bibliography, when you're done with your paper, you are actually going to need to proofread them. and see if somebody somewhere has messed up with the information. I am going to show you one other thing. There's another way to enter citations, and that is to go into EndNote and figure out which citation or citations that you need when you're in EndNote. And I'm going to go ahead and use that one. So I select it in EndNote, and then I go back to Word, and I go into the Insert Citation. But instead of Insert Citation, I've already selected it. So I'll do Insert Selected Citation. I don't have the option of doing the citation and then year in parentheses or any of the other formats that I do when I do insert citation, insert citation. When I do the selected citation, it just does it as if the citation is at the end of whatever you're citing. So it's all in parentheses here. So, using APA, and I'm going to use APA, and then I'm going to show you what happens with MLA, because I know how they work really well. Those are the two formats that I tend to use. When you have quoted, you need to use a page number in most instances. I cannot simply add a page number here. EndNote takes it out, or Word takes it out, because Word sees, instead of DeMonte, Clarice, Bonini, all that, EndNote says, or Word sees, go to EndNote and get citation number X and insert it here. And so that's what Word is doing. So if I add text to it, that just confuses Word. So to add a page number, I choose the citation I want to add the page number to, and then I will go to Edit and Manage Citations. I click on that, and I have the opportunity to add a page number. I don't even know what pages this article includes, so I'm just going to say this is on page 45. I click on OK, and EndNote will add that page number for me. The next time I use that citation, and it's down here, that page number is not included because Microsoft Word and EndNote together know that that page number only refers to this citation, not to the DeMonte work as a whole. So I could add another page number for each of these citations. So when I have multiple citations, I can still do the same thing, edit and manage citations. And now I have all three of the citations that are in the same place, and I can say this is on page 48 or 47. I can click on the next one, and this is page 39. And I click on the next one, and it's on page 150. Oops. Then click on Pages 156. And I click on OK, and the page numbers are added to each of the citations. And you'll see that this time, because I have the author and then the year in parentheses, the page number is added correctly to the parentheses. So there's one other thing that I want to point out. I did mention that you needed to proofread your citations and bibliography to make sure that between the database and EndNote there wasn't some miscommunication or the database didn't have some poor information. So what I'm going to go do is I'm going to go fix one of these citations, even though I don't think there's anything wrong with it. So I chose one that I'm using. I double-clicked on it, and I'm going to say that this journal, this is a journal abbreviation, and I would actually like the term, the full term in it. Of course, this is not in English, so I have no idea what the full journal title would be, so I'm just going to make it up. All right, so I'm going to change the journal title, and then when I close this, it's going to ask me if I want to save it, and I do. But now in my paper, the journal name is wrong in this one. So to fix this, all I have to do is update the citations and bibliography. If you fix something in EndNote, then update the citations and bibliography, and it will be fixed in your Word document. And the advantage of fixing it in your Word document, of fixing it in EndNote and not trying to fix it in your Word document is every time in the future when you use that article, it's now fixed. You don't have to fix it individually. every time you use it. The last thing I want to point out is that when your paper is done and you are excited and you are ready to turn it in, we're going to go ahead and save this document. And I'm going to go ahead and save it onto my desktop because this is gobbledygook, and I'm going to delete it later. I'm going to name it test paper and save it. I'm not, however, going to turn it in like this. EndNote can cause problems. If you take this paper and you separate it from your EndNote library, so you email this paper to your professor, or you put it into D2L in a Dropbox, it becomes separated from the library. When you get the paper back from your instructor, whether it's through email or through D2L, it's going to have lost its connection to Dropbox. You'll still have a copy on your computer that should still be connected, but the one you get back is, the citations can get messed up this way. So instead of sending this paper, where if I click in the bibliography, the entire bibliography is highlighted, I'm going to click on Convert Citations in Bibliography, and I am going to convert them to plain text. This gives me a warning, and I say that's okay. It's going to open up another copy, so I'm in document 2 now, and here's my paper. I can close that, and I can go to View and Page Width, and that's more visible. If I click in the bibliography now, I can edit it. So I could change this DOI. So it's no longer an accurate DOI, but I could turn my paper in like that. So now again, I'm going to save this. Again, I'm going to save it to my desktop. And I'm going to name it Test Plain Text. By adding plain text to the name of the file, I know that it is not connected to EndNote, and it's the one that I can send wherever I want to send it, however I want to send it. And if I put it into D2L and my professor tells me you've just written in gobbledygook and I don't read gobbledygook, please rewrite, and I get it back, I can take those comments and I can go back to my original file and change whatever I need to change in the original file and still have my EndNote citations correct. And then if I needed to add a citation, I could easily add a citation. It's just good practice to change the files that you're going to send anywhere into plain text. If you are going to get a journal article published, that is really fantastic. But when you go to submit your article to journals, many of the submission systems don't play well with EndNote. And if you have EndNote citations in them, it can actually mess your document up, and you may get an immediate rejection, not because your paper is bad, but because they can't read your paper well. And they may tell you to resubmit it. So it's a good idea, again, just to convert your paper to plain text, just so that everybody can see it and you know that you're not going to end up with problems. We'll talk a little bit more about citation styles in the next video.